What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome back. Day three or day 4? Forget. I don't know. But we're back. How you guys doing? What are we working on today? What are we working on today? We working on ELA? We working on some math? Philosophy? What are we working on, guys? How you guys doing? Please, ELA. That's 2 votes. And really, that's like a majority at this point, so maybe that's what we're doing. All right, let me just fix my mic here. It kind of slipped off. Ooh, sorry about that. All right. We're back. We're back in action. Is my mic too loud? I'm like capping on my things. Let me get the chat where I can read it real quick. Similar triangles, shaded region. We could do that. Ooh, dude, I have not done similar triangles in so long. All right, but the chat has spoken pretty definitively. That's what these early to the study stream people get, is they get the request answered. Dinos has been waiting. Dinos has been patient. So we must reward Dinos. Dinos needs to be rewarded. We'll do that. Fortnite Sweaty Kid, just remind me at the end, man. We'll do that. We'll do your triangles thing, I swear. We're going to do it at the end, so just remind me before we finish up. But let me get some ELA pulled up. Let me get some ELA pulled up for y'all. What's so funny? Are you guys nervous about this test? It's so far away. Nobody's nervous. You do percentages? Yeah, we can do percentages, Z. I think we're going to start with ELA. Cheeky ELA. And then we'll do math. So Z, the sweatiest kid, just remind me towards the end. And we'll cover whatever you guys need to. 40 out of 47 on the student handbook for math. Is that good? That's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good. But if you watched my video on the scoring questions, those 7 that you missed are all super valuable. So although, yeah, that's, a B, which is good, you gotta be perfect, dude. It's like the Olympics. You guys ever watch gymnastics in the Olympics? Or like ice skating? You have to be perfect. You have to be perfect. So it's kind of stressful, but you got to do it. You're too far to be nervous? Well, Eddie, you're 100% right. But if you log on to one of these study streams in October, you are going to see a very nervous chat. So just keep that in mind. The test is the same. Don't let the time freak you out. I have a test in August. Well, then you're going to be nervous now, Dinos. But that's why we're going to do some ELA for you, bro. Tips on how to improve when your scores plateau. What are they plateauing at, Tanisha? Is it Tanisha? I've heard it both ways. Study for, what do I need for STI for 9th grade? Perfect. That's what you need. All right, so before we jump into ELA, actually, I do want to know as well, guys, for ELA, you guys want to do grammar, or you guys want to do like a poem? You guys want to do some reading comprehension and answers? That's my question. What do you guys want to do with ELA? Poem. All right, that's pretty definitive. Okay. Bird. Oh, man. Okay, we're going to jump into a poem. All right, let me get you all set up really quick. I just got to make sure you guys can see the questions. I want to make sure you can see the questions and you can see the poem. That's the goal. What page is this? 68. So the questions are going to be on 69. All right. Cool. All right, we're in. So we have some new things on the stream today, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, teletutor.com, the most janky website you've ever seen in your life. But we're going to be doing a poem today. This is the poem. Bird talk. So I'm gonna get this poem going. Can you guys read this okay? It's like really fuzzy on my screen, but if it's good for you, then it's good. And then I'm gonna get a screen up with all the questions so that we can see them at the same time. All right. How is that as far as blurriness? Be honest with me now. Don't feel like you need to be nice. If it's blurry, it's blurry. We can fix it. But maybe it's just my thing is good. It's good. You can read it. You're blind. Eddie. Gotta get some glasses. Got an 800 on your SHSAT. It's pretty okay. Probably could do better. Probably forgot the bonus questions. All right, so we have the questions. We have everything we need. Let me get a little filter on this, We're not going too crazy, but we're gonna get a little filter on this. Because we're trying to be a little professional here. There we go. Wow. Stunning. All right, I think we got it. I think we got it. Okay. So we're not going to look at the questions right now. We're really not. We're just going to look at this poem. I'm going to do my best to read it, but we have something new for you guys today. That is right. I have something new for you guys. And it's not very interesting right now, but we have a dog cam. We have a dog cam. It's real. Oh, it's real. All right, so let me get going here. There it is. Oh, you can't even really see him. There we go. There it is. So we have a dog cam today. He's sleeping, but he might be waking up. So probably not during the poem section because this is going to be boring. But all right, guys, let's strap in. Let's do it. Bird Talk by Carl Sandburg. Okay. And now when the branches were beginning to be heavy, it was the time when they once had said, "This is the beginning of summer." The shrilling of the frogs was not so shrill as in the first weeks after the broken winter. The birds took their hops and zigzags a little more anxious. A home is a home. Worms are worms. The yellow spreads of the dandelions and the buttercups reached across the green pastures. Tee-wee and tee-wee came on the breezes, and the grackles chuzzled their syllables. And it was the leaves with a strong wind over them that talked most of all and said more than any others through speaking the fewest words. It was the green leaves trickling out the gaunt nowhere of winter, out on the gray, hungry branches. It was the leaves on the branches beginning to be heavy, who said as they said one time before, "This is the beginning of summer." We shall never blame the birds who come where the river and the roads make the grand crossing and talk there, sitting in circles talking bird talk. If they ask in their circle as to who is here and as to who is not here and who used to be here, or if instead of counting up last year as against this year, they count up this year as against next year, and have their bird chatter about who is here this year, who won't be here next year, we shall never blame the birds. If I have put your face among leaf faces, child, or if I have put your voice among bird voices, blame me no more than the blue jays. What is this about? And I was reading it. This is my first time ever reading it, and I was trying to focus on getting every word, so I didn't really get to read it. You know what I mean? But with poetry, it's not like a narrative. It's not like a story. We're just reading blurbs of a feel, just blurbs of a thing going on. Okay? So each of these is kind of like just a different color of a paint or a different vibe, and we just stack them on top of each other, and that's what a poem is. So it's not going to make a sense. Not going to make too much sense. So don't sweat it. Give me a second. You guys can reread this yourself. Give me a second to just read it in my head really quick so I can make sure I understand this the proper way. But notice that I paused on the punctuation. That's a winner. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. You don't even read the poem when you do tests. I would, Dinos, TBH. I really would. But that's a personal decision. If you think your strategy is better to not read poems, then don't. But I would just read it once, because with poems especially, they're going to ask you what like the reader takes away from, and you have to have been a reader to kind of understand that, unless you're like a super mega brain. So let's get started on these questions, okay? All right, question number 1. In line 6 to 7 of the poem, the birds took their hops and zigzags a little more anxious. A home is a home, worms are worms. We're talking about right here. The idea from the second stanza to the lines help develop. E, the birds are eager for the return of warmer months. F, the birds are most likely to thrive during the spring. G, the birds naturally adjust to the seasonal change. H, the birds instinctively prepare to have fun. What's the answer? That's a good question. That's a hard question. It's like EF, so it's. Oh no. Okay, good. I lost the chat window for a second. So what's the answer, guys? C, G, G. Anybody have a better answer than that? G, trust G for sure. Everybody's on G. Really good. Why are the other answers wrong is my question. Like, why is E wrong? It gives us context that the birds are coming back to adapt. Yeah, that's good. E is wrong because it wasn't stated. Eager for the return of warmer months? Well, they are. Doesn't support E. Okay, let's go into F. The birds are most likely to thrive during the spring. Dude, this is just if you didn't read the poem and you're like, or maybe if you're not Danos, but if you're just like, yeah, that's true, but that's not what the poem is talking about. What I kind of get to here is worms are worms. Dude, I hate Microsoft Edge. I hate it. Oh, more actions. Yeah, I want to do actions. I don't want actions. How about whatever? I'm not gonna get mad at it. Not gonna get mad at it. But worms are worms. When do you say something like that? It's kind of like very difficult if you're not super familiar with English. But what if we were to say, well, bread is bread? Um, night is night. It's saying it is what it is in a way. So it's not making a big deal of things. It's just, worms are worms, man. We're not gonna go too crazy about it. 45. What's the answer? 45. Read lines 12 through 14 from the poem. I'll do it in here. And it was the leaves with strong wind over them that talked most of all and said more than any others through the speaking the fewest words. I added a word there, but what does the phrase talk most of all mean? What's the answer? 45, let's go. Can't see the answer choices. Oh yeah, you're 100% right. Hold up. That's fine. All right, there we go. Can you make it bigger? The questions or the poem? Make both of them bigger. All right, we got one on B. This is a hard question. You guys still grinding on it. Wow. Nosing in. I'll get to your question in a second, bro. We got 1D. We got a B. Wind fast. Yeah, poems are hard. All right, let's go through the answer. If you're still working on it, still work on it. But this is, I think, a good kind of a good thing. Dinos is on B. This is a good thing to think about as far as why maybe it would be a good strategy to read the poem. But, I mean, do you, ultimately? All right, so we're looking at leaves. We're going to talk about the leaves. So what are they talking about? Is this the first mention? Okay. Here we go. Just like in many reading comprehension, it continues to talk about the thing that we're learning about or we're questioned on. 15 says, it was the green leaves trickling out of the gaunt nowhere. So, dude, it is winter. The trees are sticks. The leaves are coming out now. And this is poetry. Yes, it says, speaking the fewest words. That most of all, we have to draw a parallel. If someone walks into a room completely silent, and is wearing a gorilla costume. Is he speaking loudly, or is he speaking quietly? That says a lot, especially if it's just a normal function where people are just hanging out. That says a lot to show up in a gorilla suit. I don't know what it says, but it says a lot without saying anything. And that's the parallel that they're drawing here. No, the leaves are not talking. They're not actually talking. And they're not even talking about necessarily just the way that the leaves sound with the wind. But this whole poem is about winter going into spring, the change that's happening. And so the leaves that are coming out are saying a lot. What they're saying is that winter is over. The answer is B. No, I'm sorry. The answer is A. It establishes that the speaker thinks that the sound of the wind in the leaves is the best indication that the season is changing. Wow, it wasn't even... So the answer is a lot more... Wow, I just kind of skimmed it, but the answer is a lot more literal than my interpretation of it. But yeah, to the narrator, that's the biggest indicator. And you may be like, well, that's not a great answer. That's fine. Let's go through the other answers and see why it's wrong. B, it introduces the idea that the sound of the wind and the leaves remain constant throughout the seasons. It doesn't suggest that they're constant throughout the season. In fact, it says they're trickling out of the gaunt nowhere, out of the gray, hungry branches. So they weren't there previously. Unfortunate, so B's wrong. C, it suggests that the speaker is overwhelmed by the sounds of nature that emerges as the season changes. This is a pretty good answer. Where it kind of kills me is overwhelmed. He doesn't come across as overwhelmed. If he had used the word shouted or like a symphony or, falling on just falling down from just being amazed, maybe. But that word overwhelmed is a little too much, in my opinion. D, it emphasizes the sounds of nature enable the speaker to appreciate each season of the year. It only allows him to appreciate spring. So that was too general. That's the answer. Answer is B. 46. 46. All right, let's do 46. Let's go. How does the repetition of "this is the beginning of summer" in 2 to 3 and 18 and 19 contribute to the meaning of the poem? Let's go. Oh, I forgot your question. Nozan, advice for ELA. If that's your weak point, start reading. Start reading. Get a book. Go to the library. Get a book. I'm not joking. Like, find the least terrible looking book you can find and just read it. If there's a librarian, just say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. This would be kind of interesting. And just get a book and read it. That will be the best for reading comprehension for you. I know it sucks, but you got to do it. B is the answer. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. For the previous one, A. Yeah, the answer is A. Because it's not constant through the season. So the answer is A for the previous one. Sorry, I just want to go back and clarify that. All right, 46. Let's go. This is the beginning of summer. No, Tanisha. Is it Tanisha or Tanisha? The answer is B on that one. B. Or, wait, actually, I keep saying B. No, it was A. Tyler, Tommy, wake up. Sorry, got tired. The answer is A. It was A. Go back in the VOD. It'll prove me right. All right, let's do this next one. What's my favorite book? That's a tough question. I can tell you what I'm reading now. My all-time number one. Ooh. I'm like looking at my bookshelf. Maybe we'll talk about it at the end. I don't know. Is A Thousand Joys and Stars a good one? I don't know. I haven't read that. Tanisha. Got it. Thank you. I hate when poems have no plot. All right, well, for that, Windfast. I really don't want to beat this word dry because everybody says it and I don't, whatever, but it's a vibe. Like, you guys keep working on the question. I'm going to talk to Windfast real fast. So we're looking at this first one. The shrilling of frogs was not so shrill as in the first weeks after the broken winter. So just imagine it's now becoming spring and you hear frogs more than you ever heard them. Never been this shrill, never been this loud. And then you look around and birds are doing little hops and zigzags and they're a little more anxious. But they look kind of relaxed. And then you look around and you see the yellow spreads of dandelions and buttercups. And nothing's happened. You've just looked in three directions. That's what a poem is. And just kind of try to put yourself in the shoes of the person. And use the punctuation. See where there's punctuation at the end? Punctuation. Try to let that guide you a little bit on what the vibe is. And then just try to stack those up. And then you'll get a good idea of what the feeling is that the author is trying to give, let you look into. That's what it's about. All right, answers on this. 46. We have someone coming in real hot, nosing in, coming in hot with the A. It means E. Is it H? Is H still banned on this channel? Is H still banned? E. Got a couple more for E. 46. E or F. Did I take the SHAT? I did not. It repeats how the branches get heavy. Yeah, it does. Yeah. What high school do you go to? I was not in New York during high school. All right, so let's go over this one. This one is a tricky one as well. What does the repetition of the beginning of summer in 2 to 3 in 1819 say? So it says, the branches are becoming heavy, where they once had said, this is the beginning of summer. All right, it's happening, it's going down. It was the leaves on the branches beginning to be heavy, who said as they said one time before, this is the beginning of summer. So they're saying it now, and they said it before. And that leads us to this answer, E. It suggests that the shift to summer occurs in the same way every year. Not a great answer, but better than the others. I wouldn't have used this word same way, but it's happening again. That's what it means. This is summer. F. It emphasizes the idea that living things are prepared for the change of season. No, because it's happening. This isn't their prep for it. It's going down. G. It highlights the idea that the first signs of summer are surprising. No, I don't get surprise from that. Maybe if there was like an O at the beginning of it, but I'm not catching surprise from it. H. It builds expectation about what the natural world looks like. That's a pretty good answer. But I don't think the repetition does that. The dandelions do, and the colors do, and the birds do, but the repetition of it doesn't build expectation of what it's going to look like. It builds expectation that it's going to happen. And if you read around it in 18 or 19, as I said one time before, it's going to happen again, and it happened before. And it's going to happen again. So E is the best answer there. Let's keep moving. 47. Which lines from the poem best contrast with the idea of winter scarcity and bleakness? Let's go. It repeats how the branches get heavy. Yeah, it does. What do you do when you're stuck at a specific score in practicing? Ans, what score are you at? Uh, s- so I'll tell you what scarcity means, Z. But for the like, pretend it's the test and I'm not here. So just try to grind through it. 70 to 80. Okay. So for that, Ans, you gotta figure out which areas you need to work on, and you need to attack those areas. Taking practice test after practice test won't help. I would recommend, as always, to go to my website, tylertutor.com, go through the ELA section, go through the math section, and just make a list. What do I have no idea what that is? What do I feel really confident doing? And just keep going through that until you feel really confident doing every single one. Then start taking practice tests. You'll break through. 47 is A. Nozanin is on it. You got a 540 on your last practice test. Yeah, keep working. You'll get there. You're early, so keep doing your thing. Oh, 70, 80%? Oh. Okay. All right. I thought you meant like questions. 70, 80%. Then you're on the hunt for perfect. Um, Obviously, you're good, but you still need to identify the areas that you're weak in, and then you need to shore up your small errors. If it's in math, you need to get really good at multiplication and division. You can't make mistakes, and just get fast at it. All right. 47, what do we got for answers? I think Nozanin's the only one in on A. Dude, this is going so slow. Is it already 7:30? Is this going slow? Should we go faster? I feel like this is going slow, but maybe that's just me because I don't like poetry. Faster? Yeah, I agree. All right, I need two more answers and then we'll go into this. I'm just doing 1 hour because I'm getting back into it. That's why. All right, I'm not going to wait for answers. The answer is A. Or I'm sorry. It's like, okay, the answer is B. The yellow spreads of dandelions and buttercups reached across the green pastures. Guys, the pastures were not yellow. Now they're yellow. D is a pretty good answer, but we're looking at the lines, not the poem around these lines. So this is just talking about last year and next year. So with just the line, the answer is not D. The answer is B. Next one, 48. How do lines 23 to 28 contribute to the central idea of the poem? 23 through 28. What's the answer? All right, guys, what's the answer? G or H? G, G. Yeah, that's it. The answer is G. Knows it in H. I don't see the speaker enjoying it. It seems very matter of fact, and even the birds themselves seem pretty matter of fact. So that's why G is the answer. It's just like who's not here from last year, who's not gonna be, there next year, just like they're taking attendance or whatever. Next one, 49. Throughout the poem, the poet conveys the speaker's point of view by... What's the answer? Yeah, you guys crushed that last one. We got one for A. Nosenen's in. Anybody else? A. This one's a tough question, guys. Point of view. What's his point of view? So by gradually moving from the speaker's attention from one element of nature to the other, it does give a point of view that he's just very matter of fact. And that would have been the answer. Except for this last part of the poem. Who is he talking to? He's no longer saying, oh, look at this, look at that, look at this. He's speaking to somebody. Maybe he's speaking to himself. Maybe he's speaking to a child that's with him. Either way, it does move from external observations to a personal reflection. That's the answer, D. One point for Tyler. Number 50. Last question, then we're going to do math. Ugh. Over the course of the poem, a central idea is developed mainly through the speaker's... What's the answer? F. Anybody else? F. Everybody's on F. Yeah, you got it. That's the answer. That's the central idea. The whole thing. I don't like how this is plural. I really don't. I think that that's incorrect. It should say season transition. But I guess 2 seasons. But yeah, that's the answer. The whole thing's about it. He's not really eager, is he? He's just kind of looking at stuff. So that's the answer to that one. Good job. Pat yourself. Pat yourself on the back as we move to math. Wait, actually, you guys have any questions about that poem? Do you have any questions about that? Let me know in the chat. If I get better at the math section, go to my website, look at all of the topics, and get really good at every single one. How do I become a better basketball player? Get better at shooting, dribbling, get in better shape. Like you gotta hit the fundamentals, bro. Quick question, what is it, bro? Oh, and also like, don't mess up on your like simple things. Okay. These two triangles are similar. What is the area of triangle XYZ? What's the answer? Word problems are really easy. Yeah, we're starting slow, man. We're starting slow. Okay, so that was really easy for you guys. I did not expect it to be that easy. I knew it was going to be easy, but I didn't expect it to be like no problem whatsoever. But good job. Yeah, so just for those in the back, these are similar triangles. So what's the difference here? It's dividing by 20. So we're going to divide by 20 here, and we're going to get 5. 1/2 base height is triangle. The answer is going to be 5. The chat is just too exceptional. So harder problems. Harder similar triangle problems. Okay, now I need to think of how I can trick the chat. How can I trick you guys? Hold on. Let me think. Like, really, let me put my thinking cap on here. It's been so long. Okay, I think I got it. All right, here we go. I think this problem works. I think the problem works. Angle EDC is 60, and angle ABC is 60. Angle AB, or line AB is 30 inches, BC is 10 inches, and CA is 28.2 inches. DE is 15 inches. I should probably mention these two triangles are similar. All right, so how long is EA? Well, Tyler, make them hard. Sorry, Fortnite sweaty kid, you locked in. I know you're new, but that's it. Your first answer is your answer. There is no going back. On the test there is, but here there's no going back. All right, I'm just going to go through this now. We're going to talk about this real quick. Fun question. Labeling is your friend. That's all I'm going to say about this. Is get really, like, mark up your test. EDC, 60 degrees. ABC, 60 degrees. I probably should clarify that. So if that changes your answer, then let it change your answer, okay? But that would mean that these two angles are the same. I really should. I'm going to give you guys another second. Does this right angle change anything for you guys? If it does, I'm going to give you a second to adjust your answers. But, I was just thinking up this question on the fly. I just didn't put it in there. You did half of CA? Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you got lucky, dude. I don't know. But I don't know if that right angle changes. I think most people kind of assumed it was a right angle, so I'm just going to go into it. So then we know that this is 30 and this is 30 right up in there. A little tricky. AB, 30 inches. BC is 10 inches. CA is 28.8. I'm not going to write it in there. It'll get too sloppy, but you know what I'm talking about. DE is 15. So we know that these are similar triangles, and it is by a property of half. So we have to match the angle is relative to the side. The angle is relative to the side. So even though it might be, tempting just to say it's half of AC, EC is half of AC, maybe it is. But we know that this BC, or this line in here, is going to be the same as this line in here. Between the 60-degree angle and the 90-degree angle in both triangles are going to be similar. And we know that it's a factor of half, so we know that this is going to be a 5 right in there. So that would mean that we need to find half of 28.2. which would be 14.1, which would make AE 14.1. That's the answer. Good job, went fast. Yeah, Christy, that's it. Yeah, you changed your mind, sweaty kid, but a little too late. Like, something to consider with similar triangles. I'm going to leave this up for like one more second, but something to consider with similar triangles is that the orientation may be not great, and you just got to be okay with that. So if we have two triangles that are just out in space, so if you got two triangles that are just out in space and they're similar triangles, the orientation may not be what you expected it. Know that 14 doesn't belong to the 5. 5 is the shortest side, so you have to go to the shortest side. It's going to be the 10, and then go clockwise around. So just keep that in mind. And a lot of times with angles with similar triangles, that's also a trick that they use. Like they'll do something like this. And this is what I was kind of going for, but then I messed it up because I was thinking of the problem on the fly. But they'll do something like this to you. And they'll say that's 50 degrees, that's 60 degrees, that's 70 degrees, that's 60 degrees, that's 70 degrees, and that's 50 degrees. And let's say this is 30. What side of the triangle, of this triangle, A, B, or C, coincides with that 30? That's the question. What side of the triangle, A, B, or C, coincides with the side length of 30? Fortnite's on C. The 50-degree thing? C? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Because you can see this angle creates this side. And you can do it with your hand. The angle creates the side across from it. The bigger this angle gets, the bigger of the screen is inside of the triangle. Where if the smaller the angle, the smaller of the corner of the screen is in the triangle. And so because the biggest angle creates that side, we need to go to the biggest angle, and it's going to create that side, and it's C. So that's one kind of consideration when you're doing similar shapes. Just kind of keep that in mind. There was another request for a math topic. I forget who it was, because my brain is dying. Shaded region. It was shaded region by the sweatiest of kids. And then someone said percentage. Maybe we can do both. Maybe we can do both. That's a perfect circle. I don't want to hear any other reason. Square, two perfect circles. In terms of pi, what is the shaded area? And if you're stumped on this question, just take a second to enjoy the beauty of and the majesty of that diagram of those perfect freehand circles. Oh, and I should mention, the center of the circles is on the line of the square. Okay? Okay? So don't come at me. The center of the circles is on the line of the square. And it goes through this point, okay? I'm not trying to beat you that way. Oh. Okay, so wait, Tyler, are the circles half circles? They are. Well, at least half of the circles are in there. So we have two half circles. So we basically have a whole circle inside of that square. So we take the entire thing, which is the square, 6 times 6, 36, nobody's confused. Then we take away what's missing, which is two half circles, aka a full circle. What is the formula for circles? Pi r squared. The diameter is 6. The radius is 3 and 3. 9 pi. Good job. That's it. 4 nights for the kid. You did the diameter, man. Small mistake. And it cost you everything. Good job. I forget. Well, just know, like I see more people missing questions on, and I'm not even coming at you, sweaty kid, because you've had a lot of really good answers. So I'm not. It's not like I'm coming at you. I'm just saying generally. The better you think you are, the more careful you need to be. Because when you get cocky, that's when it gets bad. Tyler, I have a question. What's up, Tanisha? I'm not saying that's why I made the concession, Fortnite Sweaty Kid. I'm not coming after you. I'm saying it because you're good. You've showed competence. And so the better you get, the more careful you have to be. Now, I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. So obviously, it's like your first mistake. It's not a big deal. But I'm just saying in general, it's just bringing up the point. Fortnite Sweaty Kid, you're a Chad. Don't worry about it. How can you tell which questions are experimental? You cannot. Why don't you change pi into a number? You could, Dinos, and that is what the number would be. Sometimes you can leave it in terms of pi. Yeah, so that's what that means, in terms of pi. Just like in terms of x is like 3x. Speaking of, let me just see. Hold on one second, guys. Let me see where you guys are at with this. What is x? Shaded regions can go pretty hard. The key is you just need to figure out what the entire region is and then subtract what is not shaded inside that region. Just that's the strategy, and then you just gotta try to keep up with the problem. Could I show a problem? What's up, Anna? Maybe I could. Maybe I could show a harder problem. Yeah, actually, I got a hard problem. You guys do this problem, and then I'm gonna get a decent shaded region problem going for you guys, really quick. Actually, hold on. You guys still working on this? Do we have answers for this? 30? Negative 7.5? All right, let's go through this. First step, we're just going to ignore this. First step is to distribute. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 2 times a negative x is a positive 2x. And then we have to pretend like there's a negative 1 right in there. So that's going to be a negative x and a negative 7. And that equals 1/2 x. And then we combine like terms. 2x minus x, x, negative 8 minus 7, minus 15. And that equals 1/2 x. I'm going to blow your mind with this next step. If you don't know already, you don't know. Ready? Put the left side over 1. When there's an x like this, it belongs to the numerator. So we put that x up top. Now we're going to multiply both sides by 2. By 2. One x. Subtract an x from each side, x from each side. Do you guys do algebra anymore? All right, so here's the question. And then this is the last one. I got to go. See, my dog is stretching. You ready for your walk? Yeah, he's so ready. So here's the question. What's the area of the shaded region? We'll go soon. What's the area of the shaded region? All right. Okay. All right. So let's go over this. Let's talk about it. This is, wow, here we are, a culmination. We've come so far, haven't we? Haven't we all? Not only are we doing shaded region, we're doing similar triangles. How do I know they're similar? Because they share two angles, so they're similar. This is 6 right here because it's a square. So if we were to break the two triangles out, it's 6 by 9. 9 is the bottom edge, and this it's 3. So it's going to be divided by 3. It's a third as big. So instead of 9, that's 3. And instead of 6, this is now 2. Did the sound just get a lot better? My air conditioning just turned off. So let me just check that that's right. Yeah, that's right. So what's the area of the big triangle? The area of the big triangle is 6 times 9, 1/2 base times height. 18. That's the big triangle. Small triangle, 1/2 base times height, 3. That means the triangle that's inside the square, if I were to clip off the nose, clip off this little triangle from the big triangle, it'll be 15. Is that right? Did I make a mistake? 6 by 9, 2 by 3. Yeah, that's right. 3, yeah. Well, caught my mistake. I knew I was making a mistake. That's why I was like, the alarms went off. 1/2 base times height. 1/2 6 is 3 times 9, 27. So we're just going to forget about that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And we're going to forget about that. It's quitting time, guys. Time for me to go for a walk. You ready to go for your walk? I think he is. So 24. That is what is inside of here. As you guys all know, as I stumbled through that because I was thinking about going on a walk and not doing math. So focus, remember, 6 times 6, 36. 36 minus that 24, where we got 9. The chat is sensational. Great job, guys. All right. Good job. See, Sweaty, you're good. Wind fast, you're good too, man. I got respect. Just look at my work. You know, who am I? All right. Thank you. Thank you for correcting it. All right, dude. So I'm going to go. I will be back on next Thursday. I highly recommend that you, in between now and then, Do a little bit of studying. Nothing crazy, but keep studying. Do not stop. Do not stop. We'll be back. And if there's stuff you want to work on, oh yeah, I forgot. Hold on. Dude, I can't even write my website right. All right. A couple of you guys have already hit me up via email. I made sure to get back to everybody today before the session. We will be back on Thursday. Guys, you have time, but you need to grind now. Grind now. So if you have any questions on the test or whatever, send me an email. Go to this website and study. It's free. It's all free. There's no paywall. Just go and study. Make sure you are good with everything. That is the key. You got to be good with it. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. See you next week.